the Dudley Boys.
Class of 2018, the Dudley Boys have arrived. You know, it's an honor and a privilege to be standing here for
25 years and you still don't get it.
Bubba, I don't know if you got the memo, but I'm office now. But now I tell you when to speak, when to talk, hell, I'll tell you when to move. So, get your ass in back of me, and I'm going first. I'm about to testify.
Wait. I heard you were a producer, and I just looked at all the boys' faces when you said that. Sometimes I get a text from the boys and it says, Devon is my producer, LOL. Now the fans might not get that joke, but the boys are popping on the inside.
Well, you know, Bubba, the thing about it is they're just glad you're not the producer.
Yeah, their match might get over.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Yo! Yeah. We're watching the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony 2018. Welcome to the special show for the Patreon members only. This is Foulmouth Ken coming to you live from New York with the Hall of Fame ceremony reaction and check on in and type of thing. Look at this real quick, look. Oh shit, look at this. Look, there's the Band-Aid moron. Hi, I put Band-Aids on my nipples and dance around like a fruitcake. And look at this fabulous artwork done by the one and only Canadian Basement. Thank you so much, Canadian Basement. God bless you, my son. Hi, I dance around with Band-Aids on my nipples. Anyway, folks, 2018 Hall of Fame ceremony. Pretty cool, pretty good, pretty cool. Right now, let me get out of this voice, folks. Yeah!
What's up, everybody? Right now in the ceremony, you heard it. The Dudley Boys are out there right now with their acceptance speech for 2018 Hall of Fame ceremony. The ceremony of ceremonies. Yeah, we love it, we love it. So anyway, what's up to everybody out there? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Y'all doing good? Y'all feeling great? I just want to tell y'all, I love y'all so much. That's right, yo. I want to tell y'all, I fucking love you. Man, I think fuck you. I won't take you out back and just rub you. WWE Hall of Fame love you. 2018 on these motherfucking cocksuckers. Goldberg was like a cocksucker. He was on the other side, WCW. Man, they was winning every year, yo. Kicking our ass all up and down the TV screen, man, for a couple of years. Then Goldberg faded out. 125 wins, the in his mouth. Took out my dick and went down, yeah. All right, right now, let's see where we are right now. They're still basically, they're up there still accepting the, as you guys can hear. My mother. Testify, brother, testify.
2018 Mitch.
Testify. Testify. Talk about your mama like Mr. T did for 45 minutes. Bye, Baba. Remember Mr. T in the ceremony a couple of years ago, Mr. T? That was fucking all day long, man. Testify, my brother, testify. I rebukes you. So you also got, as you can see here, Goldberg is the head of the whole thing. He's the main draw, and I love the fact that you got.
You're listening.
And he's one of my favorites. To be honest with you, this guy is definitely one of my favorites of all time. Hillbilly Jim. I grew up. My first introduction to WWF, what it was back then, was right around WrestleMania 1. That's when I started watching it. Right when Hogan he started to really just pop off as like, and it was right around WrestleMania 1. I was about like 7 years old. I'll never forget it. I swear to you, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember watching it for like the first couple of times and being like, holy shit, I love this. And that was the era of, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and all those guys, right? And I went all the way up until when I first really stopped watching it was right around Sergeant Slaughter time when he won the belt from the Ultimate Warrior. So Hogan lost the belt to Warrior in that WrestleMania, and I think it was the following year Warrior lost it to Slaughter. That's when I stopped watching, and then I stopped watching from that era, right there when Slaughter and Hogan, and I stopped watching it all the way up until the era of right before the WrestleMania with Mike Tyson. That's when I stopped watching WWE. Now, when I came back to wrestling, it was 2 years before the WrestleMania with Mike Tyson and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels, who cut his hair and looks like a twat now. But anyway, it was right before that one. It was 2 years before that pay-per-view. I think that pay-per-view was like 97, 98? 97 maybe? Like 97? I think it was 97. I'm not sure. But it was 2 years before that. So like 96. Around 96, I came back to wrestling. But I was watching WCW at that point. This is when Goldberg first started in there, and he was first kicking ass, and he went undefeated for like the longest fucking time. I started watching WCW. I liked it, man. It had Hogan in it. It had all my guys. Macho Man Randy Savage, Brutus the Barber was in there, but he wasn't Brutus. And it had a ton other wrestlers that were WWF guys. And then I learned all the new guys, the WCW guys that I didn't know because I watched WWF. And I liked it. I really did enjoy WCW at that point. This is like, Stone Cold was just establishing, or like right before he established his like persona, that big fucking Stone Cold persona. So it was right around that time. So basically, Filthy Mouth Gamer comes to me one night, and he's like, yo, did you see that new guy that they have on WWE with the bald head and the black trunks? And I'm like, dude, that guy looks just like the guy Goldberg from WCW. I'm like, what, are they fucking copying him? And he was kind of like, Filthy was kind of like, no, I think it's the other way around. They're copying him. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I know of Goldberg, and Goldberg kicks ass, and he's like one of the main draws. And let me tell you something. When Goldberg came in there and went up against all these old former WWF guys, he kicked ass, man. Like, he was a good draw, this guy. When his whole way that he would come to the ring, where they would knock on the door and he'd walk out with like security all around him and the smoke, you know, that fucking, when he was breathing in and fucking looked like a fucking whack job breathing in and out. Like, the whole persona, everything was cool about him, you know? So I was watching that, and I was really into it. He told me about Stone Cold Steve Austin. I went over and checked out Stone Cold, and I remember watching, I think it was a Monday Night Raw, and I'll never forget it. Stone Cold came out, and he went up against the Nation of Domination, and The Rock was in there in the Nation with the Nation of Domination at that point. And The Rock was like, you know, doing his old antics, and Stone Cold came up and like hit him, and Stone Cold stunned him, and The Rock, I remember, like, did this move, and I was laughing my ass off from it, because I really didn't know like who was who, and The Rock, like, I knew The Rock was something special at that point, but it was so funny how he landed The Rock. And I always remember fucking Ron Simmons, matter of fact, he just went damn in this in the show, the ceremony tonight already. He just so happened to have a mic on him while he was in the crowd. But I'll never forget it, you know. So, and then that was my introduction back into the WWE, WWF, if you want to call it then. And I was like, you know, this guy Stone Cold's pretty cool, man. You know, then I think it was like about a couple of months before the pay-per-view with Tyson, I went back and started watching WWE. And I would go on Nitro, and I'd watch Nitro for the beginning of the night, and I would switch back and forth in commercials. So, like, a commercial would come up on WCW, and I'd switch to WWE, and they might be at a commercial. I'd wait for them to come off a commercial and see what was going on with them, and then I'd switch back to WCW. So I was mainly on WCW, but I started flirting around with WWF. Then it gradually moved to where I started to watch WWF a little bit more. I'd go out of the commercial with them, watch them come in. I'd spend like 2 or 3 minutes watching it, and I'd be like, damn, I like this now. And then I was watching both of them. And this is the days before fucking DVRs and all that shit. It was very convenient to record both programs. You had to fucking set double VCRs back then and all that shit. And I wasn't doing that, so I had to switch back and forth between both shows. Then finally, it was to the point a couple of months later, right before the WrestleMania, because the hype for that fucking WrestleMania with Mike Tyson was through the fucking roof. The hype for Mike Tyson WrestleMania was just, you didn't feel that hype since the days of Hogan. And I'm talking like WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of started to lose its lust there a little bit. Started to lose the fire that it had. 8, 9, 10. Some of them might have been good WrestleManias, but it just didn't have the impact or the punch that it had in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was sick. It was insane. The first 5 were insane, okay? The hype that was behind them. So it lost its hype over the years, okay? Until it came back to this year when Tyson and, you know, came in and supposedly was on DX side, and Stone Cold fought him in that ring a couple of days, or I think a week before WrestleMania, when Stone Cold came out and met him in the ring with all those fucking state troopers in the ring, and Tyson and McMahon. What a fucking scene that was, man. And that made so much hype back then. It was insane. I'm watching the Dudleys right now. They're doing some stuff on the stage right now, just fucking around. And it's funny because Devon, you know, he works for the WWE now, and he's like management or whatever. And I guess he's a producer for the WWE. And I guess they were kidding around about that, how, you know, Bubba Ray doesn't basically have a job right now. But he could still wrestle probably, because a couple of years ago he lost a shit ton of weight. He looked really fucking good. And he was wrestling pretty good in TNT. I mean, TNA. He looked good back then. But yeah, he's up there right now. They're still talking right now at this point. Let's check in and see what he's saying real quick.
We did it our way. We had a special chemistry, and we had one hell of a tag team finish, and that's all we ever needed. Yeah,
man, they were a special tag team, these guys, man. I'll never forget some of the pay-per-views. I'm telling you this story about how I got back into the mix with WWE, which was still WWF at that point. I got back into it when I got, I told you about a couple of months before that WrestleMania with Tyson. And what a time to get back into it, because right after that WrestleMania and Stone Cold took the belt, Shawn Michaels kind of took a hiatus for a little while, with his injuries that he had, and he kind of was going to retire and blah, 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 all that good shit, which he winded up coming back a lot more after that. But at that point, he was gone for a while. That's when Triple H kind of took over, the DX type of role and all that shit. And, but I watched them, even though I wasn't a big fan like I was watching WCW, I still watched WWF, whatever you want to call it, back then, because I would do clicking. Monday night was like that, man. Like, if you didn't get to watch wrestling during the Monday Night Wars, you missed out on something that was very fucking completely, like, just awesome. Everything about it was just incredibly awesome. You had two major fucking companies going head to head, and they both spared no expense, especially WCW. They went out and got whatever the fuck they wanted. They were poaching fucking wrestlers left and right from WWF, and before you knew it, the whole locker room was WWF guys sprinkled with a couple of WCW guys like Sting and Flair and about maybe 10 other guys that were there before. And then eventually it just was all like WWF guys and those guys, the big guys that were in WCW. And it was good, but it started to, NWO really did have its fucking spot in wrestling, and that's kind of why I was watching WCW at that point, because it had them in it. But I was watching DX when Shawn Michaels was doing his thing. I would go and watch that shit, not as much as WCW, and I was a fan and loyal to WCW at that point. And don't ask me how I did that, because I was a WWF guy my whole life, man, my whole childhood. But I followed Hogan, you know what I mean, like a lot of kids did at that point. And when they saw that, oh wow, he's wrestling for this other company now, you just went over. Like, I was a very loyal Hogan guy, man, in that Hogan era. Now, there are some cats like Cronin's age who are 10 years young, a decade younger than me, who are that era that came up under Hogan. And that is your Shawn Michaels, your Bret Harts, your fucking, a shit ton of good guys that really came up underneath that guy and those wrestlers. Because at that point, Hogan, Macho, Ultimate Warrior, all those guys owned the WWF at that point. They owned the storylines, the big storylines. They owned the whole thing. Those little guys like Shawn Michaels, who was in a tag team, Bret Hart, who was in a tag team, and all those guys that were the future in the 90s, the mid to late 90s, they were the future, early 2000s. Those guys were, mid-card, maybe even lower because of their age and because you had the big dogs there. Once the big dogs all left and went where the big boys play, that was it, man. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and those guys carried WWF. And yes, they were losing in ratings. They were losing in a lot of shit. And the Dudleys are still out there talking right now. We're going to check back in a little bit when I guess when they leave. We'll see who's next, and we'll check in on that. But yeah, once all the big boys left, that's when those guys carried the torch. And they were losing ratings for a while. They were. But they set the foundation for what was to come with Stone Cold and the DX era, which ultimately overcame WCW. And they did, because the programming on WWE just got so fucking good. 94, 95, 93, that era was horrible wrestling for WWF. It was horrible, man. It was all those gimmicks. We know. We've seen the shows on the network and all that. Horrible gimmicks, horrible storylines. It got so fucking bad. It was worse than today. And today's pretty fucking bad. So it was unwatchable. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you had WCW, which had real names, and people were starting to use their real names in wrestling, and people were starting to use, if it wasn't their real name, like a real name sounding type of name, and it wasn't so gimmicky. And you've heard it all a million times in the documentaries and all the fucking shows that are out there. They, you know, one was real and one was like total fantasy, like the hockey player, the goon. Like, come on, man. A guy comes out and fucking skates in a whole hockey get up. Like, really? What are you gonna come out in next? The fucking as a baker? You know, you're gonna come out as the Hank, the fucking the auto tech guy who fixes your brakes. Like, come on, man. Fucking ridiculous, man. Come out as the local crackhead from Houston. You know what I mean? You come out as a fucking crackheaded motherfucker from Houston that puts band-aids on his nipples. What are you coming out next as? But, you know, and that's what the allure of WCW was to me, because it was something that was realer. It was something that was badass. Like, yo, that's fucking badass right there. You know, especially seeing Goldberg come out. And NWO. I mean, when the NWO was out there, dude, like, that was it, dude. Like, they were the, like, I mean, and Hogan fucking reinvented himself, man, you know? I put band-aids on my nipples, dude. Look at me, I dance. So, long story short, I started to get back into WWF, and it was right around a couple of months before that WrestleMania. And then that WrestleMania, I slowly started going to WWF and watching WCW just as much as each other. Now I started watching both of them, like, you know, switching back and forth. And then it slowly became where I was drawn to WWF and would check in on the old show that I used to watch that much, WCW. So it gradually went to the other side. And by the time that WrestleMania rolled around, I was full-blown WWF guy again. Loved it. Loved that WrestleMania with Mike Tyson, and it was fucking great. And it brought me back into the whole shit, and, you know, like, full time, because I was watching it all the way through. The whole DX era, I watched it, I saw it. I just wasn't a huge fan. And I thought WCW was outdoing them at that point. But then that was it, man. I was there with them all the way up until, I'd say, about 2003. 2002 is when I stopped watching. 02 or 03, somewhere in there. That was it. It was after McMahon bought WCW, obviously, and, you know, the whole invasion thing flopped. It just wasn't done right. And then everything just reminded me of dog shit. And this is really cool seeing all three tag teams out on the stage right now in the event. You got the Dudleys, the Hardys, and 3D. The six of them. These guys started it.
That created our history together.
Yeah. Seriously, man. When the Dudleys first came over from WCW, from ECW, they really just fit right in with these other four guys. I mean, the Hardys and Edge and Christian were like really fucking unbelievable, man. Those guys, like those four guys, would do shit in the ring that was crazy. You know, spearing someone off the fucking middle of a ring 20 feet. Like, it's just insane what they used to do. And then you add the Dudleys into it, man. It was tables. It was ladders and chairs. And then once the Dudleys came over, it was tables too. You know what I mean? It turned into, and each one of them had their forte. I think Edge and Christian with a chair, the concerto. I remember they used to do that all the time, which was crazy. And then you had the Hardys with the ladders. They used to do a lot of ladder shit, a ton of ladder shit. And then you had the Dudleys with the tables, man. Get the tables. And it turned into TLC, man. And they were the originators, those six dudes, man.
With that being said, I would like to say...
Uh-oh, they just got interrupted, the Dudleys. Dudleys being interrupted here on Hall of Fame night. Wow. It's crazy. Who the fuck is this? Somebody came out from the back, and they're telling me you got to wrap it up. You got to hurry. They've been playing the music over them. I think it's a setup right now. Obviously, it is. And now he's grabbing them. And the guy's like, look, I bet you it's going to be get the tables. Yeah. You know it's coming.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Here they go. Devon went into the back, bringing the table out front. The crowd is all standing up, loving it. He's opening it up. Put it on your Twitter or something. This dude looks really young. Oh, my God. They're putting him up on Bubba's. He's up on Bubba. Oh, right through the fucking table, man. This young kid. I mean, this dude looked young, and Bubba just put him right through the fucking thing, dude. That was it for them. That was nice. That was a nice little ceremony over there for the Dudley boys. That's pretty cool. Hold on one second. So I'm looking here. I think the next one is going to be Mr. Jeff Jarrett's on that list. Mark Henry, as you guys can see. Hillbilly Jim. It's weird that Goldberg is going to be inducted into their Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame. Like, you wouldn't think that back then during the Monday Night Wars. I mean, you would never have thought that. And he did become a pretty good draw in WWE back when they bought, back in 04, I think, 05, 06, somewhere in there. So I fell out of wrestling about 02, 03. And then I got back into it around 2010. I took like a couple of year break there too, because it got fucking boring after they bought WCW. It was boring after that. Right now they're showing the promo to Roman Reigns and the one and only Brock Lesnar. Oh my God, they're showing Roman Reigns right now out in the crowd with his girl. What a dick. Guy's a dick. Looks like a dickhead. I can't stand Roman Reigns. I'm like the rest of you guys, like, so fucking annoying.
Inductee is already in the Hall of Fame. Says right.
I wonder who that is.
Denim Overalls Hall of Fame.
He's in the Denim Overall Hall of Fame. You know who that is, right? Come on, guys. You know exactly who it is. The one and only.
In 1984, a good old country boy would make his mark in WWE.
How y'all doing?
From Bobbitt, Kentucky.
Man, he used to scam me back then, dude. With the beard and the hair. Oh, my God. And he was huge.
The immortal Hulk Hogan. Hillbilly Jim would be rescued from ringside and thrust into the limelight as the WWE superstar.
Hulkster took this man who was literally a fan out of the ringside area.
So that's how this guy was billed. That's how this guy was billed. He was a fan in the crowd,
skills on him.
that Hogan took out and started training because he was big.
I won my first wrestling match every night.
When you step in that ring with Hillbilly Jim, you're going to find out that you just can't go messing with us here, big old country boy.
Adored by those of all ages, Mudlick's favorite son would help catapult WWE into mainstream culture during the 1980s.
I'm Hillbilly Jim. Good food, good meat. Thank you, Lord, because we're going to eat. Have some tomato.
Hillbilly Jim. Yeah, that dude used to scare me back then, man, without a doubt.
Country two-step, Hillbilly Jim captured the hearts of audiences all over the world.
Do you know the thing that sticks out in Hillbilly Jim's mind the most is the wonderful people that I meet.
It's the American dream come true.
Why, I've got the best fans in the whole world. Plus, I got nothing but pure D luck on my side.
That is one happy, happy man there. He spreads that happiness and that joy throughout the entire audience.
WWE is proud to welcome Hillbilly Jim.
Man, he was a big dude.
Hall of Fame class of 2018.
He was a big fucking dude, Hillbilly Jim, man. No joke. He's gonna come out and be like, I love you, I love everybody so much, and I love y'all fuckers. He used to have a guy that was with him back then. This big fat dude, man. Oh my God, Jimmy Hart is fucking introducing Hillbilly Jim. Holy fuck. Wow. Jimmy Hart. He's gonna need crutches to get out there, this fucking guy. He's got his megaphone. Fucking loser.
The Dudley boys were awesome, wasn't they, baby? Yes, sir. Hillbilly Jim, raised in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He grew up loving three things. He loved playing his guitar and country music. He loved going to his grandmother's house every Saturday night and watching professional wrestling on TV. And last but not least, he loved playing basketball for his local high school. He was so good in high school, he was all city, all state, all conference. He was so good that when he graduated from high school, he had 6 colleges that offered him scholarships. But Hillbilly didn't want to take any of them because he wanted to be in the entertainment field. So he took a job at a local bar/nightclub where he was the bouncer during the day and played music at night. While he was playing music one night, this local promoter, wrestling promoter, came to see him and said, you know what, you're a star, man, I want to put you on the road. So for the next year and a half, Hillbilly was in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and it even came here to New Orleans to wrestle, believe that or not. But Hillbilly still waited for that one special phone call from the WWE, and he finally got it. And they were looking for the next attraction, and they felt like Hillbilly was going to be the next attraction. An attraction was, once you got that TV exposure, you could go through any airport in the world, and even a casual wrestling fan would know who you were. Somebody that could be on the Today Show, the Tonight Show, somebody that could host MTV Awards and be the face of Make-A-Wish. Well, that was going to be Hillbilly Jim. And then once again, once you got that exposure, you could sell millions and millions of dollars worth of merchandise. Hillbilly was on the Rockin' Wrestling cartoon show. He had a hit song on the wrestling album called Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy. He did 6 episodes of a kind of country western show called Hee Haw. And last but not least, his action figure on LJN.
Damn, I had that shit.
Figure, his first check was for $67,000. Believe that or not. Now, I told Hillbilly that earlier, and he said, no, Jimmy, it was for $87,000. I said, well, what's 20 grand, man? Come on. But that was Hillbilly Jim. So he was on his way, man. He was going to the top. But in San Diego, California, one night, a tragic accident happened. He blew his knee out. His kneecap was shattered and driven all the way up to his thigh. He was rushed to the hospital. He had an emergency operation, 6.5 hours. When he came out, the next morning, the doctor was standing over him in the hospital room, and he said, Hillbilly, it's going to be a miracle if you ever wrestle again. Well, guess what? A miracle happened, because at WrestleMania 3, in front of 93,000 people, Hillbilly Jim made his comeback. And I've said this once before, but I'm going to say it again. Hillbilly Jim, 34 years ago, before the first WrestleMania, was the man that called me in Memphis, Tennessee, when I was working down there with the King, Jerry Lawler, in Memphis Wrestling. And I had 3 or 4 phone calls the week before, but I never called the area code back, 203 area code, because I thought it was a rib. I was managing people down there like King Kong Bundy, Rick Rude, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So I thought it was Neidhart or one of those guys playing a trick on me, so I never called the number back. So all of a sudden, Hillbilly calls me and he said, look, Jimmy, he said, why didn't you call New York back? They want you for the first WrestleMania. He said, Howard Finkel was looking through some tapes. He took them to Vince McMahon, and Vince said, bring him in. Well, thank you, Hillbilly Jim, for doing that, because I wouldn't be up here today if it wasn't for you. He was my roommate, thank you. He was my roommate on Legends House. Hillbilly Jim has been my friend for almost, 39 years now. And I just want to say this, thank you guys. Thank you, the WWE Universe, for doing all this. You guys are awesome, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be up here now. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member for the 2018 WWE Hall of Fame, Hillbilly Jim!
Oh, fuck Hillbilly. I just had to hear what Hart was saying, because he's a weirdo, that dude. Him and his bullhorn. Fucking bullhorn weirdo. Anyway. Do you like the new art? Look at that. Does that look like me? Does that look like Filthy? A little bit, right? A little bit. A little bit. Hillbilly's out there. He looks good, man. He looks good, this guy, Hillbilly Jim. He looks fucking pretty good, I gotta say. The dude looks good for his age. He was on that show on WWE Network, the WWE House or whatever, where Piper was on it, and Hillbilly Jim, and Mean Gene Oakland was on there. What's his name? Who admitted being a homosexual was on it. Who was accused of also all kinds of shit.
You missed the college scholarships. It was 67. 7 or 8.
What?
Wow. What a nice, quiet evening it looks like we're going to have here.
He looks good, this guy, man, for his age. I'd fuck him.
Just amazing. Kentucky. Howdy to you. You know, I know this can be kind of a long evening, and time can get by pretty quick because I've been out there many times, so I'm going to try to keep my comments as brief and concise as I can.
No, you're not. I'm psyched about WrestleMania, man. I can't wait. The one chick on here, Jeff Jarrett, I can't believe is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Jeff fucking Jarrett is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool. Love Jeff Jarrett. Love me some Jeff Jarrett. You know, they had the red carpet thing on before this, where they were, you know, interviewing all the wrestlers that are out in the crowd and everything, and they all have their wives and their girlfriends with them, and I get a phone call from one of my friends, and he's like, oh my God, you see how many hot chicks are with the fucking wrestlers, and every single one of them girlfriends or boyfriends are fucking... I'm like, what? I'm like, every single one of the girlfriends and boyfriends are hot? And he's like, no, you know what I mean. I'm like, no, I really don't know what you mean.
He was a gentleman.
Do you like the boyfriends? You fucking weirdo. But he meant like, and every one of the, so then that's when I turned it on. I turned it on too at that point. And I was like, damn, he's right. A lot of them all do have good looking girls out there with them. This mixer sucks, man. You guys hear that? It gets all staticky and choppy and shit. I just ordered a new mixer for the Foul Mouth Network. Because this mixer is just for shit. Hate it.
That stood on this very stage at this very podium not too many years ago, and I was out here somewhere, and the words he said resonated in my mind like nothing I'd ever heard. And he said one word in particular. You know, the man that I'm talking about is good old Jim Ross, Jr.
Jesus Christ! He's gonna bring me up on stage again. Piece of shit. And talk to me like that, hillbilly fucking
Jimmy
Jim.
used a word in his remarks that described me to a T. The word was opportunity.
He's got such great
My whole
opportunity.
life in this world and this business has been based upon opportunity.
He's got a great opportunity.
Now I'm going to tell you some stories of opportunity.
I'm going to tell you about 15 stories of opportunity. Do you have an hour and a half?
Or what your plight in life is. Take opportunities serious, because sometimes they knock at your door, and if you don't answer, kids, they go to the next door and they never come back.
Wow.
I had
deep. That was deep. That was pretty deep right there. That was pretty deep. That was pretty deep. Wow.
First opportunities was when Bruce Swayze told me that, right? Okay. Fast forward to a few months after that. It was a Sunday. I had finished working out at Western Kentucky University, who has been so good to me. In my hometown, they allowed me to come train there, work out and lift weights, and be around athletes that were not only from the United States, but they had some great international athletes that came in, and they had some really amazing track and field guys. Had an amazing shot putter and his brother Jesse Stewart, John Stewart, world record holders in high school, just amazing guys. So Western was good enough to let me work out there and hone myself, right? Get myself prepared for whatever might happen for me. One day after workout, my friend Tom Hagen and I.
Tom Hagen. That's funny. Tom Hagen's from fucking. From The Godfather. That's funny. But Hillbilly Jim's out there. I mean, you got a whole big ass. You got a ton of fucking people still to come in. This is gonna this is an all night thing. You know? But I just wanted to check in with you guys and hope you're enjoying the Hall of Fame out there right now. I'm going to load this up into the Patreon, and if you guys want to listen to this bullshit, it'll be on there. I just want to go over some, let's go over some changes in the programming on the Foul Mouths Network and on the FMN channel. We're going to be bringing back Foul Play to its original, I think night. I think it might be Sunday nights. It might not. If you want to see Foul Play, it might just be on the Patreon soon, to be honest with you. So if you're a Patreon family member, that's cool, because you're gonna get probably Foul Play pretty soon. Lucky Low is still with us, still part of the channel. He's just we had to work out some stuff because I'm bringing in some new people. We're gonna have Cuddy Chris back. I'm just telling you guys this right now. He's gonna be on the show tomorrow night, Saturday night, Insomniac. Cunny Chris is gonna be back. Pickle. He's gonna do a couple of prank phone calls. He might even do one live on the phone with us. He might get two Chinese food people on both phones and then put them together, type of thing. He's gonna try some funny shit tomorrow night, so we'll see that on the show. And then what else is there? You got. I mean, we got a lot, man. We really do. I spoke to this other person that is a YouTuber, and he does like sports orientated stuff. He's gonna come on, and he's a really good talker. Like sometimes if you talk religion with him, or you talk like politics, he's really passionate, but he doesn't come off as like a pompous asshole like a Dave Rose or something. He comes off as like a guy who knows what he's talking about, but he's humble about it. He doesn't act like, hey, I'm better than you because I know this. He knows that, it might be, everything in this world might be bullshit anyway, so you never know. But there's no reason to sit around and fucking be in a state of depression over it. Like, what the fuck, We got to do monetize this in an hour, in about 2 hours. Tonight, I lost the belt, guys. You guys know that. It was tough. It was tough to lose the belt like that. I'm not going to lie. If it was up to me, I I wouldn't have lost the belt. But it, you know, it really wasn't up to me, and we had to do what we had to do, and I stand by what we did. I stand by I opened up my mouth. I deserved it. He got me, plain and simple. He'll never get that again because you only get one shot at that opportunity. You know what I mean? Catch me with my hands down, my guard down, my thought process off a little bit, you know? When I got into the room and I saw Grim in the ring and I saw Joe climbing in, I was like a little, not nervous, but just a little, like, you know, I don't know. But it sucked. And I was, you know, it just, what I really want to do is I want to fight Cronin in the ring in like 2 months in June. And I want to drive up to where he is. I want to use the ring that he's going to be doing announcing in, and I want to beat his ass in one-on-one. I want one-on-one with Cronin. Even if he doesn't own the belt or I own the belt, it's fine. I just want a piece of his ass because I already started going on a diet. I already started doing all the shit that I was supposed to do a little bit earlier, but I already am doing it. I'm going to document the whole shit. I'm going to weight train. I'm going to lose weight. I weigh in front of the camera. And I'm going to fucking train. And hopefully Cronin will take my rematch offer. And hopefully in June, I'll get a shot at him in a real ring without him kicking me in the nuts and Stone Cold stunning me. Okay? Maybe that's what will happen. Okay? And then maybe I'll have a fighting chance at that in a wrestling ring. So, yeah. Anyway, I mean, like, listen, it was fun, though, going there and doing what we did with Graham. And I lost the belt because I opened up my mouth and said something I shouldn't have. And what are you going to do, you know? But everybody lives to fight another day, I guess. But yeah, guys, we're going to have a great weekend. Insomniac tomorrow night. Cuddy Chris coming back. Filthy Mouth Gamer, myself. We're going to be talking about all kinds of shit. We're going to talk about what McGregor did. We're going to show some slow motion videos of him, you know, outrunning security with tables and dividers and fucking poles. And like that motherfucker was... He boarded a plane with 70 fucking people. He called up 70 of his people and said, "Get on a fucking plane. We're going to the U.S." You know? Fucking insane, dude. I mean, it's just... he boarded 70 fucking people. I mean, 20 people, I'm sorry. 20 fucking people on a plane, and they all said to each other, "When we get there, let's attack the fuck out of him." Like, let's all just fucking... You know? He got there. He was like, "Listen, when we get there, we're all bum rushing these motherfuckers." And they bum rush. I mean, I don't even know all the details, but, dude, McGregor's a sick bastard. I'm sorry, dude. Like, yeah, this is a stupid move and this and that, but you got to be thinking to yourself, like, damn, this dude's got balls. He's either got balls or all the money in the world, or he's got both. Who knows? But I mean, all I know is there's still only one undefeated champion. And it sure as hell ain't Joe Cronin. You know what I'm saying? But Hillbilly Jim is still out there fucking just eating up time like a fucking cockroach. Yeah, so... Like I said, tomorrow night, me, Filthy, Cuddy Chris, we got the old crew together, and what do we, I don't, you know, like, why can't they just bring out the good people first? Oh my God, they just showed Art Anderson, good old AA Arn Anderson, and he looks like he's fucking missing one of the A's to his name because he looks like he's a hundy. Guy looks 100. It looks like he's pushing 150. Jesus, all these guys really that old now. Pat Patterson will suck the fucking meat off your. Oh, dear God.
Hardly get any time off. And you didn't really want to take any time off because it was so hot. I was in Notre Dame University one night, which is, as the crow flies, is probably, a couple 120 miles from my little old place down there in Kentucky. But man, I was pining to go home. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Here comes Pat Patterson in, right? He's got his glasses on like this. He's got his clipboard.
Good old Pat Patterson. Good old Pat. Pat's like, I'm gonna suck the meat off you, Frenchy cock, you fuck you. But anyway, I have to actually really tell you guys about some of the other shows that we're gonna be doing soon. We're gonna be doing a podcast on all mob movies and mob shows and all mafia orientated shit. You might not be into that, some people will, but we're gonna do that with we're gonna break talk about the movies and the genre and the real life mobs bosses and like John Gotti and blah blah blah, all that stuff. But we're gonna record that. It's not live, and that's gonna be on the regular YouTube channel. We're also gonna be doing very soon. I mean, it's still in the works, but there could be a really good show coming here soon, just a big decent show coming here with not a lot of people on it, but really good people on it, people that don't normally come onto this network. You might hear on there, but it's in the works. It's nothing definite yet right now. I hope it is, but it's. What are you gonna do? Hopefully everything works out. Even if it doesn't, we're still gonna be doing our thing. We got the Can I Talk on the Patreon. You got the Filthy F tips on there, and you should be having the Foul Play very soon on the and it's gonna be on the regular channel too this time. We're not gonna switch it up and go over to the channel and blah blah blah, and it'll be on a regular FMN Nation Foul Play, back to being a show instead of just some name on a network, which will be cool because that show was fun for me, man. I had fun doing Foul Play. I remember doing the Halloween one, close to Halloween. It was it was awesome. I loved it. Fucking loved it. This guy is still talking. Jesus, man, these guys take fucking forever. I mean, I know it's the fucking Hall of Fame, but holy shit.
Alabama when Andre the Giant.
This guy's talking about fucking everybody, for Christ's sake.
They ring the bell. I'm in there with Stutter Bundy, and them brothers tee off on me. I mean, they go right on me, man. It's like I owe them money. They're beating me down because they know when I give him that hot tag, baby, that the gig is up. And let me tell you, that's the way to deal with it. Sometimes he would grab me, it was like throwing around, toy dolls. It was amazing. All right. Day after that, here's the Andre thing. We're going to go to Dayton, Ohio the next evening to the Hare Arena. And I'm in the airport early that morning, on that Monday morning, and Andre and he says, "Hey, boss, you ride with me." Now, I'm about 3'10" at that time, maybe 3'12". Andre's 5-something, so we get on this, it's U.S. Air at that time. We get on the plane, and he shoves me in here, and he gets in next. So here me and the boss are. He says, "Let's have a drink." Sure. I know that's going to happen. No, it's 10 o'clock maybe. 10 o'clock Miami time. Here's the sweet thing. From the time we left, y'all need to hear me this. from the time
Y'all need to
we
hear
left
me this.
Miami to the
Jesus,
time they
gotta
cut us
stop.
off, we had drank 57 bottles of liquor, airport liquor. You know, 57. I drank 8. And I was snookered. I was, I don't drink. I'm like, what? I mean, we started out with a vodka, which was what he loved. After we went through the vodka, he started with the gin and the rum, and next thing you know, we had to progress up to the whiskey and the scotch and everything else that was in the bottle. To the flight attendant girls come up and they said, y'all have drank up everything on the thing. Because Andre was buying 10, 12 bottles at a time, right? So, here is the beauty. I saw this. This should have been in a movie. I'm sitting here. She goes up to where the captain is. And she tells him what's going on back in row whatever. I see this in my eyes as I'm sitting here under his stool, The captain, I see the door open to the cockpit, the captain backs out like this. He puts his hat on, and he turns around like this. He starts coming towards us. He gets about right here, and he sees us, and he goes, takes his hat right back off, and goes right back in the cockpit. It was hilarious. That's Andre, baby. That's Andre. I tell Big Show all the time, that was the boss, All right, they showed a while ago, 1987, WrestleMania 3. The Pontiac Silverdome, right? How often does anybody, especially an old boy from Kentucky, get to perform before a world record crowd? I mean, that crowd was so big, kids, it outdrew the Pope, it outdrew the Rolling Stones, it outdrew Elvis. Which makes Jerry the King upset, I'm sure, but
my God, this guy could just keep going and going and going, guys. I can't put you through this too much more. I mean, it's just by the time they get to Goldberg, you're gonna be in 2019 fucking Hall of Fame ceremony. Fucking ridiculous. How annoying is that? I mean, I love Hillbilly Jim, but Jesus, man, what the fuck? Yeah.
This was the Holy Holla, the Holla Bread, the Holly Holloman Holla Hall of Fame. Oh yeah.
I'd say the best Hall of Famer on there, obviously, is Goldberg. But I can't wait to see Mark Henry come out. Jeff Jarrett I could do without because he was kind of like a pompous dick a little bit. Kid Rock, fucking awesome. Glad he's there. I can't wait to see him talk. And that chick, what's her name? I remember her from the Attitude Era, man. She was one of those chicks that were awesome back then, like, she was awesome back then. And she was like, she was pretty good, man. I don't know if she could have lasted. I forgot her name. It's something like, I fucking forgot it, but she was good. Tori? No, not Tori. Something like that. But she was with the Women of Glow, I think, like one of the original girls in that too, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's the Hall of Fame 2018 class right there. You're looking at it. It's a pretty good class. You got Goldberg fronting the whole thing, so, and you got 3D fucking edging up, which is crazy because we all thought for sure like they wouldn't last at all. Some of them, some of these. You know what I was just thinking? With some of these newer guys in the WWE, would some of these newer guys make it into the Hall of Fame, you think? Like, who in the class of WWE right now would you rate, like, almost good enough to be on the cusp of Hall of Fame? Like, okay, John Cena, you could say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that. Whether you like him or you hate him, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. But would a guy like... I don't know, would a guy like, I don't know, man. I can't see, that's what I'm saying. Like, none of these guys are really, Daniel Bryan, yeah, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and I guess you can say he's an active wrestler now. He's going to return on Sunday. Who else would you say is like a Hall of Famer that's wrestling now? I mean, Triple H, yeah, we know that. He'll be in there. I guess he already is with DX, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, look at that. We just got a new sub to the channel. Welcome to the family. Look at this, guys. Welcome to the family, brother. Yes, I mean, I don't think there's too many great guys nowadays, man, and it sucks to say that because some of these guys are good wrestlers, don't get me wrong. It's just they just don't have they're not charismatic, you know what I mean? They're just not, they lack what it is to be, you know, colorful and draw your attention constantly. And even a guy like Jeff Jarrett, even though I don't like Jeff Jarrett, I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame either. I just don't think he should be there. But Jeff Jarrett is, I considered to be way better than some of these guys nowadays, and I didn't think he was that good, you know? A lot of these new guys are very dull. The way that they are nowadays, it's, you know, the wrestling speaks more than the promotion, the promo does, or the you know, your intro. Like, I'm an intro promo guy, you know. The wrestling can come secondary. If you can't wrestle that good, you better be able to talk and not get in trouble. You know what I mean? And stay within the lines. You got to be able to do all that. I don't know. What the fuck, man? I don't know. I just hope that WrestleMania is going to be good. I really do, because I'm looking forward to it big time, and I'm gonna watch it. But what do they really have planned for the Undertaker now? It's like, you know, Cena says he's going to WrestleMania either way. Yeah, either way. I don't think you're gonna. I mean, that's gonna be cool to hear the Undertaker come out of nowhere, but I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna suck, probably. But hey, all right, guys, listen. I gotta go and fucking get ready for monetize this, and hopefully I can win points in the bank and try to redeem myself to that bad fucking just RKO that just took me out of it, man. Well, Hillbilly Jim goes on his third hour of his acceptance speech.
I hope I done you proud, because I was proud to get the chance to represent you, okay?
See that shit? He's still fucking talking, this guy, man. Hillbilly Jim will be there for the next 45 hours till 2019 class comes rolling in. This fucking guy. But yeah, I just wanted to say a quick what's up to the Patreon family. And look at this Band-Aid fucking chiclet wearing fucking idiot. Talk to you guys soon. Big fat ass shout out. A big fat ass shout out to all you guys here at the Patreon. Women and men. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being on the Patreon for Foul Mouths Network. We really do appreciate it. Tomorrow night, guys, Insomniac, Filthy Mouth Gamer, Cuddy Chris, Foul Mouth Ken, and a bunch of friends come in and hang out with us and, you know, do the whole routine all over again. Thank you guys for everything, and I hope, you know, we all enjoy WrestleMania coming up. I really do hope we enjoy it. We'll see. All right, peace out, everybody. We'll see you soon here on the Patreon. Goodbye. He's still talking to this guy. Listen.
The fans accepted me from day one. Day one. And they never left me. You couldn't write that story. To the fans, I don't care if you're in Scotland, if you're in Sydney, Australia, the wilds of Canada, down in South America, Tokyo, Singapore, all the places around, you people made me feel nice about this as I am about coming here.
This guy don't stop.
Induction tonight. These fans.
Peace out, my Patreon family.
It didn't matter if I was in the U.S., in Canada, or any country. They love me so
shut
much.
the
I never
fuck
felt
up
like
already.
any place
God.
wasn't home to me. How can that be? I mean, I've had people tell me, if you miss a ride to the airport or something happens, they got your back. I've had people, if I got stuck
Oh
somewhere.
my God, he's talking about grocery shopping now. This fucking guy's talking about grocery shopping. Let's go before fucking WrestleMania is over, you idiot. Peace out, guys. We'll see you soon here from the Patreon, and look for Filthy Fuck Tips this Monday. Filthy Fuck Tips returning here to the Patreon. And soon to the Patreon exclusively, some foul play only on the Foul Mouths Patreon. Fuck yeah.